Hello and welcome to Show and Sell, the show that celebrates digging through other people's trash. Hello, everyone. I am Chris, Trash Dragon of the West. This is my guitar, Mr. Blankenship. Oh, good point, Mr. Blankenship. I sell media and on eBay and Discogs mostly, but some other things. And why don't we go to you, Katie? Tell us who you are and all the other questions I asked.
Okay. I'm Katie. I'm the Trash Dragon from the South. I look for and sell mostly clothing and accessories, also anything interesting, sparkly, or weird, or possibly haunted. And who are you, Joe?
I'm Joe, the Trash Dragon of the East. The East of the United States, that is. And this with me today is Mr. Francis M. Durg. Hello! And he'll be with me as long as he can stay put. And I sell, right now I'm feeling like I'm trying to buy and sell electronics that don't work, because I got this Merlin the other day.
Wow.
Put the batteries in, it didn't work. I had a calculator from a few episodes ago. Bought the batteries for that. It didn't work. So I'm 0 for 2. I'm 0 for 2 right now as far as electronics. Hello? What's that? You're not even a phone. What are you doing? Anyway.
The Merlin brought, I was just like, I had not thought of one of those for 45 years, and that just brought back so many weird memories.
Is it not a phone?
No.
It is not. Merlin is sort of like it's sort of like the Simon, which is a...
Oh, yeah, I know Simon.
It's like a game where the lights, like, these light up and you sort of like beep, burp, burp.
It's tones. Yeah.
You have to press the buttons in the right.
Difficult.
It goes faster and more, and yeah. So, but that's kind of what I.
And now you'll never get famous for solving Merlin.
Oh.
I know.
But we've got some exciting stuff coming for you this year, and we decided to add a little wrinkle. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a monthly scavenger hunt. So we're going to today we're going to discuss a topic, and if you want to join, you are welcome to. We're going to pick a topic. We have to find the best item, and then we're going to vote to see who has the best. 1 month from now. So 1 month from today, you'll see the scavenger hunt finale, and our topic is love, because it'll come out around Valentine's Day, and whatever that means to you. But there are a couple rules. So, like I said, 1 month, and you have to buy it in person. You can't buy it at a big box store or brand new from a store. You have to buy it thrifted or estate saled or garage saled, or find it on the street. There was another rule that you mentioned, Joe, earlier. What was that?
Absolutely. And I think Francis M. Durg would like to deliver the rule.
Okay, great.
The rule is no cheating.
I didn't know he was Snidely Whiplash's dog.
Tell Francis he'll never know.
He'll never. Francis will never know.
It's going to be a $15 limit. Yeah. I think the end of the year, we're going to determine a prize. If at the end of the year, the audience beats the three of us, then either our prize will be taken away, or we'll give you a special episode or some kind of prize. But if you want to join in, Show and Sell Cast at Show and Sell Cast at Instagram or TikTok, or you can send them on to our Gmail, which is at showandsellcast@gmail.com. I'll put it all.
Send your love item, $15.
$15, yep, and it could be anything. Your idea of what love is, and it could be as.
And it also cannot be something in your house. It has to be something you buy in this month.
Right. You have to find it within the next 30 days.
This might get weird.
It's going to get.
I feel like some desperation is going to happen. It's going to get good. That's not going to be an episode to miss. That's all I'm going to say.
So let's. So unless there's any other questions or points about the scavenger hunt, which will become a huge deal very popular.
Yeah.
What?
May the odds be ever in your favor, gentlemen,
Yes,
and good luck.
Thank you. So let's move into the next segment, which is the thing that brought you joy this week.
The thing that brought you joy this week.
The thing that brought you joy.
Joy this week.
That brought you joy.
Why don't you go first?
Yeah.
I'll show
Is
you
it Francis?
Francis brings me joy always. He also annoys the hell out of me sometimes. But we're going to concentrate on the joy he brings because look at him.
Double-sided acts of dog.
Yeah.
Joy and annoyance.
He's just a little helpless muppet. So let me just show you the thing that brought me joy, and that was working a clean out. It was I was basically after multiple attempts at getting rid of the clothing elsewhere. The person I was working for said, "You can take all the clothing, but you can't sort through it now. You just have to take it and throw it in your van." I was like, I will do that. And it's like, which is a mixed blessing because like, sometimes you, find like 10 items you like. And sometimes, you have to deal with all the excess, and there was a lot of excess, but among them was this
fire is an option.
Fire is an option. I do live in the country. I have a small fire pit, and I'm sure Hannah would like it if I took a little bit more advantage of that small fire pit. So the thing I wanted to that brought me joy though is this amazing Talk is Cheap Bell Phone Center 1970s t-shirt. It's like a single stitch, like great old, like it looks like it's barely been worn. It's kind of got that it's printed, but it's like the printing is still good. It looks like it's gonna crack eventually, but right now it's not. And this tag is just so generic. 50% polyester, 50% cotton.
50-50. It's a 50.
Name?
That's a find. Yeah, that's amazing.
Man, yeah. So Talk's cheap.
And
you keeping it?
And US Bell was what AT&T and something else split off into because I think they had a phone monopoly.
Yes,
is that right?
Yeah, the Bells were all split up in the 80s, which enabled us to have multiple carriers, and it really brought, it was sort of a government regulated monopoly, and once they deregulated it, this is one of the rare cases where government deregulation actually benefited the consumer because we were able to get a ton of smaller companies that were able to be more competitive in rates, which is why it no longer costs like 30 cents a minute to call, four counties over. So,
and it benefited my grandmother because someone told her to get US Bell a couple of years before they split. So she basically when they split, they became different companies. So she basically, instead of having one big stock, she had multiple littler stocks that all made money.
That's awesome. Wow!
So that's
great.
She retired like a Lithuanian princess. So, Katie, what did you get that brought you joy?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I just spend a lot of time with my mom and my sister and her daughters. It's literally Little Women in my family. It's not. I'm Beth. So here's what we have.
I'll take your word for it.
I very much I think I'm Joe. So I don't know who I am actually. I need to reread the books.
I've never read them. So
it's Meg. Meg does something. Remember.
The Greta Gerwig film is pretty good. Just
here's I need to watch it. This little gentleman was rescued by me from my sister. Wow. She's held monopoly over it for a really long time. It's as long as I can remember. This was in. It would like sit somewhere in our living room growing up. He's clearly Napoleon.
Right.
He's a tiny Napoleon, but.
He's like a
what in the world is he used for? No one knows. What is he? So this says Bronzini on the inside in ink, and then on the bottom it says Italy.
Wow.
So I don't know anything about this little gentleman, but I know that he's not going back to my sister's because she's had him for a minute, and now
did you just swipe it, or was it given to you?
I told her very specifically, I'm taking him. And she goes, oh, wait. And I said, no, it's my turn. This is enough. I thought he was lost forever, and you have been like keeping him in someplace weird. She had him like under a sink.
You cannot hide his light under a bushel, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe like what was held in there were like wishes, and so she opened one up and wished for stuff.
Oh yeah, so she took all the wishes. She would. No, she's
would.
delightful. But anyways, I love him, and he's with me. Chris, what brought you joy this week?
That is I've already sent you guys the picture, and I sent a picture of this asking, should I get this or no? And
it's too late.
Yeah, and Joe said no, but it's close, and Katie was off looking at Napoleon dolls.
I think I declined to stay because I was about to type yes, and then Joe said no, and I'm like, I'm staying out of this. I'm not going to get in an argument.
You're right, Katie. It was a yes, and I like it's a person like this went into my bathroom.
Yeah, that's great.
It kind of like so. If you like, the thing about it is, the more you look at it, the weirder it gets. So it starts off.
I have a real specific reason to say yes on this, and
Right.
you're going to get to it. Yeah.
So it's a woman ballerina made out of cactus, very like
ballerina.
What would you say she is then?
Pole vaulter, gymnast,
maybe.
She looks a little bit too muscular to be a ballerina.
Ballerinas are cut, man.
Well, they're strong. I'm not saying ballerinas are weak, but she's kind of got
athlete.
Yeah, she's got kind of got the Robert Crumb thighs of a donk.
Yeah, triathlete.
Yeah, fair enough. So some manner of graceful lady, athlete, and with the flowers turning into her hair. But then you kind of get into here, like this is the mountain is a person.
Oh my God!
This mountain is a person. They're both very sad. The ground has faces. Everywhere you look becomes faces. This is a cat, angel,
that is eagle,
another angel, and then all the facial features are birds. So it's the artist is what is it? Octavio Ocampo, who was a surrealist. I don't remember. It looks like it's 94, and it's not, a painting or a print. It looks like, this is a hard, and shiny.
Yeah.
It looks like a kind of sort of something you would see in a gift shop, but I saw it and I was just like, I love this. Every time you look at it, it's just weird. And
is it placed somewhere where someone in the bathroom would be staring at it for a minute?
Oh yeah. Well, if you're a dude, yes, because it's where you make eye contact where you're peeing. So you're just faced to deal with this cactus lady and your erotic feelings about her. And then if you're sitting down on the other side of the bathroom, I've got a bear that just is looking at you with a dead eye. It looks cute, but if you're staring at it, it looks like it's looking into your soul while you're pooping. So it's very odd. All right, let's move on to our next segment, Unearthed Treasure.
Unearthed Treasure.
This episode, or this segment of Unearthed Treasure, since it's the first episode of the new year, I asked everyone to grab the best item they found last year. So we're looking forward
So hard.
I know, but
no specific, just like, what was it? And I was like, what category? Oh my gosh.
It's everything. And so we're looking forward by looking back. And why don't I go first this time?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, Chris, why don't you go first? But now I've changed my mind.
Why don't you go first?
I'm going to go first.
You regret. All right.
So you guys have actually seen this before, but like I was trying to think, like, what did I? So it's that. The 39th annual Los Angeles Police Family Fun Day and Celebrity Golf Tournament presented by Raytheon. Host Luke Wilson. 2010 Trump National Golf Course. Like a bunch of these things are signed by there's Jay Leno.
Wow.
It couldn't be
George
more axis of evil if you it's got like golf, Trump, Raytheon.
Yeah.
And
Luke
it's just like,
Wilson was probably the worst host in the world. Like of all the people to host, I would not. I mean, he's not a Bob Hope, you know. Luke
No.
Wilson is not.
Basically, and it's just like a weird item that just like it's kind of amazing, and it's just it's the thing I love to find, and it just got better and better as you're like, oh, so and so signed it. Oh, the guy from Breaking Bad signed it. Oh, the Rick D signed it. Jay Leno, George Lopez, Luke Wilson. I was just like, anyway. So why don't you go? Since you got so sassy.
Well, I sold the things I was going to cite. One of them, I don't know if I've talked about it. I know I've told the two of you about it, but it was I was moving some furniture, and it was a realtor was just trying to get everything out of the house, and she's like, you want this? Do you want this? I'm like, no, just like basically saying like, because it was just like most of it was just stuff I had no interest in whatsoever. But then there was like, I was finally like, maybe there was this like, the base for an old, like a metal base for an old sewing machine that had like wooden drawers, an old Singer sewing machine with Singer branded drawers. I was like, I'll get those. And turns out that the drawers I could sell for, I sold the drawers for like $50. But in the drawers, there was a pair of decent sunglasses, and also a Burberry 1990s Burberry checkbook. So I got I got the drawers for free, and it had this like, and the checkbook I ended up selling for. I'll send. I think I think I can send a picture of that actually.
You probably send the listing.
Yeah,
via Terapeak maybe.
I can do that. Don't worry.
Okay, we'll see.
What did you price it? How did you?
I think I priced it at $125, and then somebody reached out to me and said, would you take $90.64 for it? I was like, yes, I will take that oddly specific price.
Yeah, that's smart. That's a smart move. I'm going to start doing that. Send a really specific price and see.
I think they're just like, this is what it would cost with mail is the thing that I've gleaned from that. Like if like they're willing to pay $120 and it's just like, or $110, but with shipping, it'll cost, they kind of figured out.
Yeah. So that would be, and then the other thing I got that I really liked was it was from this other, it was, I mean, it was really, it was working again with the same auction house. We went to this residence with, an older gentleman. His partner had died, and among other things, he had died like about 7 months earlier. And it's just like they had a really long life together. And it's just like one of the things I found was one of those luggage tags from, you used to go into bus stations and you could basically like enter in the text you wanted up to 30 characters, and it had their names and the date. It was like 1974. It was 50 years that they were together. And, it was kind of amazing it was kind of a bittersweet thing to, go through some of this stuff. And among the other things was a Rutgers University Glee Club short sleeve sweatshirt from like the 1950s. I want to guess.
Wow.
No, not 50s, probably the 60s actually. Excuse me.
But that's amazing. Those are hard to find. Yeah.
It was just like there was no tag. It either been torn off or that never existed in the first place. And it was just like, it was had old Rutgers, like it had old like screen printing on it, which is really kind of neat. And
Love that.
I'm a really big fan of that stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, send pictures. If you can. Katie.
How about you?
I found this very difficult. Really hard.
But you persevered?
There's a lot of clothing stuff. But what I've chosen is, have I talked about the record player?
No.
Okay. I thought maybe I had. So I'm going to try to show it. I pulled it down here. And the back is open right now because I'm trying to work on it. Hang on a second. Maybe I can scoot it in towards me. This is a jukebox jamboree. It's a children's giant stand-up record player from like the 70s. You'll see.
Yeah.
And so it looks like a jukebox, but it's a little kitty.
Oh,
Let me get this. Let me try to.
damn.
I can do it. I can do it. Go, Katie, go. Go, Katie.
Oh,
Aw,
Katie,
kitty's in
go.
the way.
All
You
right.
can do it, Katie. Chugga, 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 chugga. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Woo, woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that
Kind of in there.
jeez.
Whoa. That's beautiful.
That was a very lucky child who got that.
It was very cool. Yeah. And so the
So-
back you can see is off, but it's kind of like like a psychedelic geometric design across the back, and then
Right.
it's very faded. Hold on. I'm all
That's
tangled.
amazing. I didn't. That's one of those things where it's just like I
Just
love that I know that exists now. That, but did it have like a record compartment for like the 45? It was a 45 player, clearly.
Yeah, it is. And so they came with 2 records. The problem is the needle is broken, and we have been trying to replace the needle for a year, and so it is. It's really difficult. It's very difficult because this M&E company, it's not a thing that exists in the current form. And so I've looked around and I've looked on a bunch of forums for specifically Jukebox Jamboree because it looks like all of these, everyone's needles are broken. So we've opened the back and I think we're just going to replace the whole mechanism of the arm.
Right.
Because there's no real way to do it, because I really would like to keep it as much as possible. The only thing I'm considering doing, because the sort of, and I'll take pictures and you can put them in, but because of the little knobs and everything's really, they use just a paper for the background and think it's just this weird geometric design. I think I'm thinking about touching it up. I might not,
Right.
but I'm thinking about brightening it. We'll see how it goes. It's for my friends' kids. They have kids that are 4, 6, and 8. So it's the perfect age for something like this.
Right.
And I was like, and isn't it the best thing? Wouldn't you have wanted this? I would
Yeah,
have
totally.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Both Joe and I are like record nerds, so
yeah.
cool record guys rather.
And then the only record that I wanted to buy them, I did purchase from eBay from Heptagon Collectibles. I don't know if you guys know them, but I wanted to give them a shout out. Was this one, and it is.
It looks like an Atlantic Records.
It is a single, and it is the Rubber Band Man by the Spinners.
Oh,
right.
hell yeah.
It
That's
is
great.
the one. It's the one thing that I wanted them to have. I was like, it's such a fun little dancey song for kids, and I thought, I don't know, I love that song.
And it's also back in the zeitgeist because of Avengers movies.
Is it really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like when they show Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time, they're playing that and
they're
singing along.
It's just the best song. It's such a great song. And
Yeah.
so, and he's kind of their dad is kind of a recordy kind of guy. So
Yeah.
I figured that would be a good.
Yeah, it's a great, like, dancey, fun, goofy, weird song. Yeah, like, it's perfect. All right, let's go move on to Tales from the Flypt. Joe. Yeah, good. So
That's all I got for you.
you're phoning it in, Joe.
I'm not putting it in. I'm here. I'm present. I'm in the moment.
I'm Razzle and Dazzle.
Tales from the Flypt. Tales from the Flypt.
I just realized I gave you guys 2 very hard assignments this time.
Yes, you did. I was complaining to Joe in private before you logged on. I was saying these were very hard, and the items that I have for these are large.
Yeah.
So I was like, how do I do it? How do I do it?
How do I do this?
Well, but now you've revealed yourself to be a complainer of the first kind.
Yeah, and I'm going to take that back. Actually, that was not me that did that. Joe was complaining that these categories were really hard.
I can't believe you sold me out.
He told me not to tell you. He also said, "Let's be better than you."
Well, I would be upset, except for I am like a tattletale, like true and through. So I respect game telling on game.
If somebody can be ratted out, Chris is there.
What's our category? What was it?
So it was the item that changed your life. So an item that you bought, thrifted, sold. Yeah. So it was just like, I don't know. I guess I had one, so I'll go first.
Rude.
And, yes, I know, it's incredibly rude. So weird. Like it's something you guys see every week. It's this guitar.
Oh,
Mr. Blankenship.
that?
Mr. Blankenship. He's my best friend.
And he was
My-
thrifted?
Yeah, I got him at a Goodwill for
Amazing.
$25. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
1960s like silver tone. Like I think it's really kind of top of mind right now because I started writing songs kind of like on the like I realized once I bought this guitar I realized like, oh, I've been playing guitar since I was in high school. So about 35 years now, and it's I could never sing and play guitar. And then when I got this guitar, after not playing guitar for years, I was just like, oh, I can sing and play guitar all of a sudden. So I started learning songs and singing, and I'm not a good singer, but I can do it. And it's fun, and it's brought a lot of joy to my life. And like I started using it to create the interstitials for the show. I've recorded recently a cover version of Waiting Room by Fugazi. I've got another cover song that I want to record, and it's just all me. And it's been a new way to kind of be creative, and it's something I've been doing for years. I've always I got this is a classical guitar, so the top three strings are nylon. A more standard acoustic would have metal strings. So a classical or nylon string guitar is usually used for Brazilian music, which is one of my obsessions. So I started learning how to play Brazilian music, but then I started kind of playing other things, and I just kind of rolled into things. But $25 changed my life, and I use it every day to play like I'm Mr. Rogers at the beginning of the show without a sweater because I don't wear sweaters.
Did he play guitar? I don't think.
No, but he would always sing a song at the
Okay,
beginning, and Mr. Rogers couldn't rock.
Mr. Rogers could do anything. He could rock if he wanted to, but he chose not to. So
I just imagine him doing the duck walk, like the Chuck Berry duck walk, while he's playing guitar. Katie, why don't you go? Yeah,
I'm not following that. Also, the category was the item that you found that made your life better, not changed your life.
Oh, yeah, they're fine.
I don't have something as significant as that, not even close. I just have something that I could think of that actually made my life a little easier.
Yeah, all right.
That's it.
That's fair enough. You're right. I miswrote. I miswrote down on my notes. It's my first mistake of the year, and only this is it. This is the only mistake.
Don't be disappointed that my item is not sentimental to me. It just made my life a lot easier because I can put things in it. At the Goodwill here where I live outside Nashville, they sometimes weirdly, like once in a while, they'll get trunks. And trunks to me I love trunks. So big old steamer trunks, right?
Yeah.
And this one is like a triple trunk. So it's higher than a normal table. It's just massive. I don't know.
Normal dining room table or a coffee table?
Yeah, taller than as tall or taller than a dining room table.
Okay.
It's giant. So that thing has been incredibly helpful because I can put so much stuff in it, and also it is big enough, and it's not a domed top, it's a flat top, so I use it as a table, but I can also put stuff in it, and it's also a trunk.
Yeah. That's a pretty amazing find.
It was a pretty good find, and it was, I think it was like 18. Right. They also priced them wrong. So if anything's wrong with it, like if a screw is whatever, they price it real low. Yeah, the Goodwill here. Yep. And this is not the first trunk I've gotten there, so it's bizarre. But anyways, that's
I nearly I think I found some record shelves or like the IKEA shelves that people use as record shelves, the Callus, I think.
Yeah,
and I just found some on the street near. Like I find stuff on.
Great. See, that makes I felt like that made my life better because it just gave me. I didn't have to buy something from IKEA. If I can find something that I need from finding a bookshelf is gold.
No, I just found a shelf for my bathroom down the street, and I was just like,
Love those.
And
Love
someone
dogs.
they're getting rid of, and they have an armoire out there, and I kind of know the family, and I want to just be like, hey man, you're just throwing away $500. Yeah.
Anyways, well, what item made your life better?
Joe?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Me? You?
Well, every year I have a couple times a year, my neighbor, 3 times a year, my neighbor has a giant record sale. And 2 times a year, I set up across, like, we live in a cul-de-sac. I set up and have, like, the giant yard sale. And in May, one of my other neighbors set up and had some other, had her friends come over, and they were all, like, kind of selling stuff. And at the end of the day, I went over, I was like, oh, what do you got? And then, and they had, she was getting rid of an AeroPress. So I always, like, I have probably like 5 different coffee making solutions in my house, because I keep on running out of filters and deciding that I don't like the way I make coffee. I still think I make a bad cup of coffee. I had an ex-girlfriend who once said, I asked her about it point blank. She said, if you had a coffee shop, I would not go there.
What are you doing wrong? What is happening?
I don't know what.
Are there like grounds in it when you drink it?
No.
Your baked goods are subpar?
Are you
Grounds?
not using,
what are you talking about?
Not...
I mean, I have, there are some like coffee beans in there, but what do you mean grounds? Are you supposed to like? Are you supposed to grind
black
it?
sauce floating in it?
Oh, no, it's not that. It's just, I think it's just like they're just not quite. It's just not.
I just use dirt until it looks like coffee.
That's just not your thing. That's
coffee
really
solutions.
Yeah,
me. Like
so
I've got 5 different coffee solutions.
What does the AeroPress do?
The AeroPress is great because it's just like it has like the filters, for example. I mean, it's like one cup at a time. It's almost, you can do it without like a whole lot of muss or fuss. It's basically like
muss or fuss.
Take the plunger out, unscrew the bottom, put your filter in the bottom, put in like a scoop of grounds, and then like fill it with hot water, and then plunge.
So it's like a little bit like a French press.
Yeah, except for it's like it's all pretty much instantaneous. It's like you don't have to let it steep for very long.
You're making instant coffee.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or like fancy instant coffee.
Yeah.
French instant coffee.
It's pretty great in that respect. So, and the problem is it's just a little bit shy of. I have a giant Entertainment Weekly mug. About big. It's big.
That's amazing.
And it takes about 1 1.25 to 1.33 like top offs, like 1.33 like hot water, like filling up in order to fill that properly. So it's not that big of a deal. That is easy to contend with. So
that's a good find.
Guys, I think we did it.
We did it!
Yeah, we did it!
Happy New Year, everybody!
Happy New Year, everyone! Thank you. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Show and Sell. 5 stars, everyone. Thumbs up. All right. Thank you, everyone. Like, share, subscribe, and come back. Trash!
Hey, thanks for coming, everybody.
Don't you see the difference in the difference that you make from the cops that you put to the names that you take? You got ladies and bees all giving you honey, and you whack more balls than the color of money. You know Melissa Cherry doesn't do porn. To get funky and do the popcorn, eat your pies from China, or so they say. You'll understand when it opens on Friday. Can I rap about the puncher of the jewels?